Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really like to plan it. I just like it to be natural. Like,
Yeah, okay.
You know, like if you was to like meet up with your mate, you wouldn't be like, okay, what should we talk about? Do you know what I mean? But yeah. So yeah, when did you get back? Sorry.
Got back. I think it was 2 weeks ago yesterday.
And which countries did you go to?
So we started in India, then we did Nepal, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam.
Okay, which one was your favourite?
I
bet you. I have a feeling that you
Guess.
liked Vietnam the most.
Well, we only got 10 days in Vietnam.
Only? That's quite long.
No, we were going to be there for like 5 or 6 weeks in Vietnam.
Oh, I thought you were going to do another few more countries.
Yeah, we were. So we had the rest of Vietnam and then Indonesia to do.
Okay.
But we only got 10 days, but I loved it. Right, now that I'm home, India for sure is up there as an experience.
Really? Whereabouts in India did you go?
A lot of places.
Oh, so you went to like all
10
over?
different states, yeah.
It's crazy because they've gone into war now, like with Pakistan, yeah.
Well, when we was there, because obviously you're not supposed to go to Kashmir.
Yeah.
I really want to go because it's beautiful. But if we went there, something happened, we wouldn't be insured. And I was like, do you know what?
It's not worth it.
I'm really sensible. I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
Insurance is a thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just loved it. It was great. When we was there though, I found it quite a stressful country to travel.
Why is that? Is it because of the roads or the
roads? There's so many people, like.
They got the biggest country in all, like it's 1.5 billion or something like that.
I don't know what it is, but it's so hard to just walk in a straight line, like just anywhere.
Right.
Especially because you're white. Obviously, you're sticking out like
you stand out, yeah.
There's not a massive tourism scene there, so when you're in a place and there's not a lot of white people, it's amazing because you're having so many interactions with people.
I thought there would have been like a lot of Brits and Aussies and Americans there.
I did, and then there are obviously like in Rajasthan and Delhi and Agra. There are, and Goa, like in the south, is pretty whitewashed, as they say. But it's when you go out of that like
more rural sort of areas.
Or not even rural, like even
in the cities like Delhi or New Delhi.
And you go to like just a not touristy bit, then the reaction is totally different. I mean, it is stressful. Like if you're having even a bad day or I don't know, you've had a row with your partner or whatever, and you step outside and people are constant. It's like every other person.
Well, because I guess most of them are probably, a lot of people in India or these kind of countries, a lot of them don't have internet and they've probably never seen someone that looks different to them. And
well, I think, no, internet is definitely a thing. Like, everywhere we went to, it was readily available, but it's just, I just don't think it just doesn't have a massive tourism scene.
Right.
And people who do go there, I think there's a lot of like older, like 50s retirees who go in like group tours.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of like travellers, backpackers. You do get some.
Like how you would say somewhere like Thailand or even Japan or something.
Like me and Harry, the whole time we were in India, we travelled by their train system and we always did the cheapest like sleeper class, which is, it's crazy, like crazy.
Really?
And we did that, we were in India for 2 months, and in 2 months we probably got, I don't know, 40 odd trains. And we saw a white person maybe twice on those trains.
Really? So, and what did you get to speak to them? Where are they from?
We had a guy from America, and there was a couple. I'm not sure where they were from. I think they were European, but you just don't see them. And if you do, like, I think as well, like a lot of female travellers wouldn't travel by train there because they don't feel overly safe or comfortable
by themselves. Yeah,
exactly.
Or like a group of girls.
You do see that in like Southeast Asia, for instance. But
that's so.
But in terms of like the richness of the experience, India was just incredible.
The food I get.
The food's insane.
Well, most people are vegetarian. Most people in India are vegetarian, aren't they?
Yeah. But because I thought we was going to really miss meat, and then actually, like if you're a veggie or even vegan, like it is the dream location.
So did you not eat any meat when you were out there, or was it hard to find?
I'd say maybe like 80% veggie.
Wow. Okay.
Just because, firstly, it was so much cheaper to not have the meat, and we was on quite a strict budget.
Right.
Secondly, there's some places you go where there's not like electricity or whatever, and you're like, how is that meat being stored? Some people it's fine, but I was like, you know what, I'd rather just
not take the risk.
Because even the vegetarian food, it can go one way or the other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
If you throw meat in there, but
so did you go to any like chains like McDonald's or KFC?
Yeah, we did. I always love to go to McDonald's in a different country, no matter where I am, just because I just want to see the menu. I want to compare it.
Yeah.
The KFC was the first time we had chicken because we were like, oh, it'd be safe to eat. Like, it's KFC.
How was it? How was it?
The driest thing.
Really?
It was awful.
Oh wow. Okay. Right.
Because I always find KFC in other countries really nice. But
me too. Yeah. I don't eat KFC in the UK, but KFC abroad is so much better.
But the McDonald's was good. But in India, obviously, they don't. Beef is they don't have beef in McDonald's because they don't eat cow out there because it's a holy animal.
Oh, it's like a sacred meat.
So you can get it in like some of the Christian parts in the south.
Yeah.
But in general, it's just not a thing.
Not a thing, yeah.
So going into McDonald's, and there's a couple of chicken burgers, but it's mainly like potato burgers and paneer wraps and paneer burgers.
Oh, okay. That sounds quite nice.
Unbelievable.
Really? So you?
So
oh, okay.
good.
That's
so
quite
we have
cool.
like paneer wraps. That was our thing.
Did you go? What were like the main tourist spots you go to, like the Taj Mahal and
Did
stuff?
Taj Mahal. That was incredible. I don't know if you've heard of the Golden Temple in Punjab.
Yeah, that's not Sikh, is it?
Yeah.
It is Sikh.
It's
Oh, okay,
Sikh.
yeah.
That was one of my favourite places actually.
Because I know there's so many. I think a lot of people don't realise about India. It's actually way more, say, diverse than it seems.
Yeah.
Because I think to this sort of naked eye, if you don't know anything about they all look the same and they all have the same religion. They're all like different religions, different languages. It's like countries within countries.
That's why every state we visited, it felt like almost like a different country. That it's such a diverse country in religion, culture, even like the way people look, their facial structure. Some people look more like Persian-y, some people look more Afghan. Some people...
Isn't it people in like the northwest or north? They look a bit lighter skinned, and I think people in the south look a bit darker.
Yeah, very much.
And I think kind of in that southwest sort of corridor where like Pakistan is, obviously there's a big Muslim population. Yeah, so it's like you get all different kinds of people.
But that's why I love it, because you'll get such a diverse experience from one country.
Yeah, it seems like an interesting place.
It is.
So where else did you go from India?
We went into Nepal. So our last stop in India was Varanasi. I'm not sure if you've ever seen. It's the most sacred place in India. So a lot of people go there to be buried or cremated. They have open cremations on the river. It's a holy river.
Is that near the Ganges?
Yes, that is the Ganges.
Yeah, that is the Ganges.
And it was amazing experience, very intense. So that was our last stop. And then I think we were so ready to leave India by that point that we went into Nepal, and it was just the most calm, beautiful like transition.
But that sounds really nice.
But sadly, we were only in Nepal for 10 days, just because we did so long in India. And we didn't see a single like snow-capped mountain because the visibility was so bad.
Oh, yeah, that's where Kilimanjaro is.
No, Everest.
Everest. Oh, okay.
So we did like a couple of like mini hikes, but because the weather was so bad, I was like, I don't want to spend a lot of money on doing one of those long hikes if I'm not going to see
the whole thing.
Yeah. Harry wanted to, but he likes to do the hike he likes to work, whereas like, I just want to see the view.
Yeah, me too. That's how I would be.
So I was like, I don't want to do that hike if I'm not going to see anything.
What did you do like when you weren't sort of doing touristy stuff and exploring? What were you doing for like downtime or for fun?
I was. What did we do? I don't feel like we actually got that. Honestly, like we brought a laptop with us this time.
Like Netflix and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But we honestly didn't watch as much as we thought we would at all.
Yeah.
I think when you get downtime, it's just lying down and being still because you're so constantly on the go.
Yeah.
Played a lot of backgammon. Yeah, Netflix.
Did you like make any friends with that you're still in contact with now?
We made a few. Yeah, we did make a few friends. I wouldn't say am I in contact with any of them? Instagram-y.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool to travel to places. I've noticed like the last few times where I've been to like Italy and I went to Czech Republic with Ben, I met like loads of Americans out there, like at different times. I met loads of Americans, and they like me. I met this girl when I was in Prague. And she was like, she was doing a tour of Europe, and she like started in London, and then she went to like, Italy, and then she went to Czech Republic, then Budapest, and I was like, oh wow, that's so cool. But they when I've spoken to Americans, they're so like fascinated that we can literally fly to France in like an hour or something.
Like we are very lucky.
Yeah.
I really want to explore more of Europe actually.
Yeah, me too. So last year you did Latin America, and then this year you did Asia, basically. Why do you think so many people are sort of from like the UK are sort of just traveling all over these kind of places? I feel like everyone's doing it now. So
I honestly feel like there's so many people who are like moving abroad as well. Like a lot, I think I don't know about your friendship like group. Yeah. In mine and Harry's circle, a lot of them are making the move to Australia. Yeah. So I feel like for some people it's kind of like it. I don't know. I think. I just think England's gotten worse. Right. That's what I think. Okay. There's so many people want to get out more than I remember. Like, if I look at my parents' generation, my parents went travelling, they met travelling, but none of their friends did. Right. And maybe it's just because it's become more accessible. I think there's a massive I think social media probably has a massive part to play with it. I think
Definitely.
there's a lot of like travel content on there. I also think people are doing things later now. People are buying houses later. People are having kids later. So you're delaying. You have more time to do selfish things like travel.
Right, definitely.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, definitely not. And you're right about people moving. Like my cousin, she moved to Australia like 2 years ago, and she loves it, sort of thing. You're right. Yeah, I feel like I've just noticed it. I feel like so many people are going to Thailand and Australia and like the Middle East and stuff, and I feel like people are just going there all the time now, sort of thing. And I just wondered why.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think as well when you get to these places, like you can actually find flights pretty cheaply if you're not tied down by like term time and things like that.
Yeah.
You can get there pretty cheaply, and actually the money you will spend a 2-week holiday in somewhere like Southeast Asia will be a lot less, significantly less than somewhere in Europe. Say like mainland, like I don't know, France or Spain or Italy or something. You'll spend less. So you can actually have like I think some people think long haul like is going to be super expensive, but I think the opposite.
Yeah, I guess the flights might be more expensive, but then to live like on an average day, like food and travel is probably like a million times cheaper. Yeah,
100%.
I've heard that about Thailand and stuff.
Yeah. Vietnam we was paying like £1 a meal for like a big bowl of like noodle soup and beef.
And it's quite healthy food as well.
So
quite
healthy.
Yeah. So you've done like extensive sort of tours of say Latin America, and if you want to move it, you can go.
No, I didn't know it was too far away.
See like this. No, you're fine. No, it's not far away. It's not too far away.
This thing.
No, you like see here. See, you can change. Yeah, the mic.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So basically, you've done Latin America and sort of Southeast Asia. Is there anywhere else you'd want to do like a big sort of traveling experience?
I do want to. I'd always go, but we kind of set a budget for what we like can afford and what we don't want to spend as well.
Yeah.
So there's definitely not a big trip on the horizon soon, but I'd go anywhere. Like I'd love to do a Europe trip.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, I would. Like I'd love to do like Montenegro, Macedonia, those kind of countries.
Like
Slovenia.
in the Balkans.
Yeah, I'd
and
love
stuff.
to.
Have you been to like places like Serbia, Albania?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you would have done because
No.
you were in Russia for a while.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that you would have done those places as well.
No, I mean, I did like a few of the neighbouring, like the Caucasus, like Azerbaijan, Georgia, Armenia, Finland, Estonia.
Oh, so you went. Oh, wow. So you went to like a lot of the Soviet
yeah,
places.
Mongolia I went to.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you go to like Ukraine?
No, didn't go to Ukraine.
Ah, okay. That would have been cool.
Yeah, a lot of our friends went to Kazakhstan, but I decided to do.
Oh wow, Kazakh.
Yeah, I decided to do the Georgia, Armenia.
Yeah, I think I'd rather go to like Georgia and Armenia.
In my head, I was like, well, I can visit 3 countries in the same time they're going to visit one. And
Yeah.
I think one of my goals in life is just to see as many countries. So
yeah, that's quite
3
cool.
in 1 week or 2 weeks, whatever.
I'd love to go to America. That's where I think my number one place I'd love to go.
Yeah.
I think that's the only other place I'd actually live.
Consider moving.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually I don't think I'd ever want to leave London to like live. But if I was going to go somewhere else, it would be America.
But why? Why?
I just feel like 1, I wouldn't have to learn another language.
Yeah.
2, similar-ish cultures.
Yeah.
So it's not like it would be a complete culture shock. And 3, I just feel like similar to what you were saying about India, it's kind of like countries within countries. So, states are all so different.
Yeah.
And whether it's New York or Florida or California or Texas, they're all different but similar. So I think it'd be nice to explore. Like they are 50 countries essentially in one place.
Yeah.
So that's where I'd love to go.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. And I feel like there's so much to see there.
But where would you live though? Because like you said, it is so different.
Ooh, I think I'd like to try out maybe somewhere in. Wow, that's a good point. Like I want to go to all of these places, whether it's Florida, maybe in Miami, or in Texas you've got like Austin, and in California you've got like LA and all of these places, and maybe like Boston on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I think New York would be cool, but I feel like it'd be very similar to London.
I can't see you in New York. I don't know
Really? I feel like I'd love New York,
Yeah,
but I feel
but-
like I'm not jumping to go because it seems so similar to London.
Yeah.
Why? You don't think I'd like New York?
No, it's not that I don't think you'd like it. If I picture you living somewhere, it's somewhere more chilled, and I don't know why.
But then London's kind of similar.
No,
though.
I know, but I could just. I just can't imagine you on the streets of New York. I don't know why.
Okay, I get that. Well, personally, I couldn't live anywhere that. I don't think I could live outside of a city. I'd need to live in a city.
Yeah, I think I'm like that.
Even in England, I think. I don't think I could live in somewhere like.
Super rural.
Yeah, even somewhere like Bournemouth, for example, which is a great town, which basically is a city.
Yeah.
I don't think I could live there, but even though I love Bournemouth. Or in Essex, or.
In Essex. Essex is like the same.
Unless you're on like the Londony part of Essex, I could live there, but I couldn't live in somewhere like Chelmsford.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'd have to live in a city for me.
I think isn't Chelmsford on the Central Line?
No, that's no, it's nowhere near like London. It's like deep. It's like deep.
It's far Essex.
Yeah, it's like far into Essex. I think that's like those kind of places like Chelmsford, Colchester. Like
Oh, okay, yeah.
it's nowhere near like London.
Yeah, I forget how big Essex is.
Essex is actually massive.
Yeah.
It's really big. Whereas like I work a lot in Essex at the moment, but where I work is like Brentwood.
Yeah.
So Brentwood is on Elizabeth line.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like you can get into London, like central London, in like less than an hour, like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. But yeah, me, I need to be in a city. Yeah. Do you have any more trips but like ready for summer?
No. Oh no, that's a lie. One of Harry's friends is getting married in Madrid.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yeah, our plan obviously. So we was supposed to be flying. It was going to be a lot cheaper for us to fly from Jakarta in Indonesia.
Indonesia, yeah.
Or Kuala Lumpur to fly to Madrid than it was to fly home and then get another flight across.
Oh, really?
So we were supposed to be flying straight from Indonesia to Madrid.
Right.
Just because there was no point in coming home for like a few days.
No.
Literally 0 point.
When is that for?
First weekend of July.
I've never been to Madrid. I've been all over Spain.
I've never been to Madrid.
I've never been to Madrid. It doesn't have a beach though, but I've never been to Madrid.
No, but yeah, I think it's going to be boiling because I think we told a couple of Spaniards, they were like, you're going to a wedding in Madrid in July, and I was like, yeah. They're like, yeah, that's not. I think it must be so hot there.
It's going to be boiling. I'm actually going to Barcelona in like a month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I've been there once. I went there once for like a day.
Yeah.
But we're going for a festival, so
what festival?
Off Sonar.
Off Sonar. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a house music festival, but
could think of anything worse.
I feel like you'd enjoy it though. I feel like you'd. Do you not like? I thought you did.
I like songs I can sing to.
Yeah, but you do get that in like Ibiza and stuff. To be fair, like you can go. You'll get like events like Glitterbox, which is like disco house music, like 70s, 80s music, and
when I think of house, I just think of like a 2-step beat.
Yeah. I like me personally. I like a bit of both, but I do like the songs where you can sing and stuff. So events like Glitterbox and venues like Cafe Mambo and stuff on the beach. You'd like those kind of things. I mean, if you used to go to Ibiza, I think you'd enjoy it, and it's like fun. And even if you don't want to go raving or partying, you can have like the best time there. Yeah. Because you can have like there's nice restaurants and they've got all of these old bars.
Oh, I was supposed to be so Becca Tendu is in Ibiza, but I had to say no to it because I thought I was still going to be travelling or we'd be going to Australia or something, which is in this October.
October. Oh, I heard about this because I think Steph's going.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I've still never been. Never been.
Oh, you'd like it. You'd really like it.
I don't know. I'm in two minds.
Oh, you should just.
I think for a hen do it'd be fun for sure because you'll be with like your girls.
You'd be with your mates partying.
Yeah, that's true.
Regardless.
No, but I feel like I feel like I'd have to go with house people.
No, oh, you'd have a great time with us, though, I think.
Who are you going with?
Well, we're not going to Ibiza this year, but
sorry, boss. Yeah, boss.
Well, it's the same group that we went with. It's basically me, Lewis, Ben, Jack, Steph, Rachel, Lewis's girlfriend, Dom, if you remember him.
Yeah.
And basically one of Lewis's mates from uni. This guy called Prem. I don't know if you met him, Indian guy. You would have met him, I think, once or twice.
Sure. Was the rock club?
Well, sure about that.
No, it's not you. My draw.
But yeah, you'd enjoy it. But that's who we're going to Barcelona with, basically. There's like 8 of us going. Oh, and another Dom. I think you might have met him before. He's from their uni.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
The only Dom I know is like the mixed race one with.
Yeah, he's going to be there. Yeah.
No, he's nice.
Yeah. Well, these are nice or he's nice?
Both.
Oh,
no, I meant him, but yeah, they're also nice.
Are you doing anything for bank holiday next week?
Mhm.
What are you doing?
Well, I had no plans, but Molly's moving back.
Who's Molly?
Remember my friend Molly Weems, my best friend.
Oh, yeah. I remember her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's coming back from Australia, so.
I didn't know she moved.
What?
How would I know?
She moved like 6 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
They set me and Harry up at their leaving drinks, and I've been away ever since. So they've never seen us really as a couple. They came home for Christmas 2 years ago.
I had no idea.
What?
How would
do you not think you hadn't seen me post with her or be out of her?
I don't know. You got loads of friends. I wouldn't know who you've been with or not been with. Do you know what I mean? And you've been away, basically.
I had leaving drinks. I've had birthday things in that time.
There was like 100 people there.
Yeah, that's fair. That was. Yeah.
There was loads of people there.
Yeah,
and that was ages ago.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's coming home, and I think she's either having a barbecue at hers.
Is she engaged?
No.
Is she pregnant?
Not so.
I feel like everyone's getting pregnant and engaged at the moment.
Yeah.
Or it's either pregnant, engaged, or like moving into or buying a house or moving in.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, or going traveling.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I'm definitely in that traveling camp. I'm not prepared for.
Because I bumped into. Do you remember Ellie? My friend Ellie Mansell.
Yes.
So weird. So I was on for the job I'm working on now. I was looking for this top like for some props.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into Bromley because I was meant to be working from home that day to go into Zara. And I parked near the Bromley Sainsbury's, and I went in there to get something, and then I took a picture. I was taking a story, and then Ellie bumped in. We haven't seen each other in like a year or 2 years, and then she was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?" She was like taking a picture as well, and I was like, "Oh," and then we were talking, and then I mentioned how you had been to like.
She's been to South America recently as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, she literally just got back a few weeks ago, and she said she's gonna go traveling again later this year or whatever.
Real.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, I'm jealous. So I know I've just travelled, but I just want to travel forever.
I was talking about this because one of my mates, he's just gone to Australia, literally yesterday I think, and a couple of years, maybe a year and a half ago, he went to Thailand with one of his mates. He was there for like 5-6 months, and then he came back, and then end of like 6 months ago, he went to Australia again with his girlfriend, and like his sister who goes to uni there. So he's gone again, and I'm like, oh, it sounds fun, but I would be, me personally, I would enjoy it. I know I'd have a great time, but I'm like, I want to get stuff done here. Do you know, like whether it's like to do with work or, you know, like I would feel like I would sort of feel on edge, like I'm wasting valuable time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm not saying that you are.
No,
I'm just saying like, oh my God, I need to get this done and that done. But you are right as well. Like if you're going to do it, this is the best time to do it.
Well, I mean, I think the best thing about travel is you can do it at any age. I just feel like for me and like me and Harry personally, like if we're thinking, we don't own a property yet. Harry's changing careers, so we're not too far into that. It just felt like the right time. For sure. Like we've spoken about it since we got together, and then obviously Harry was in a band, so he was giving that a go. And we were 3 years in, and I thought, no, Harry, like, I've got to do this. Either you're with me or you're not. I mean, it wasn't quite like that, but I said, I'm going either way. And he was up for it anyway, but I definitely had to be like, you know, I want to do this.
I want to do it, yeah. Which is fair. And like, you're right. And I feel like if you want to do it, you might as well, if you really want to do it that much, you're better off just doing it. And instead of, in 5 years time, like, I wish I'd done that when I actually had the chance. Do you know what I mean?
100%. I just feel like, because...
Whereas I know I'm just like, I just want to get stuff done and just, I don't know.
What do you mean get stuff done, though?
I don't know. I'm just, sometimes I feel like I'm a bit too...
Do you know you'd be like delaying stuff if you was away?
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes I'm a bit too sensible for my own good, which is good. I think it is a good thing, but sometimes I'm like, I should be, not take more chances, but sometimes I feel like I say no to things a bit too quickly because I'm quite level-headed.
I wouldn't feel about you. No, level-headed for sure, but I never see you as like a no person.
Not a no, but I'm very like, okay, well, I could do that, but I'm always like, well,
practical.
Yeah, and sometimes I think back to when I was younger, because I've always been like,
yeah, you have.
Because I love going out, I love having fun, but even when I was young, I was always like, well, yeah, but I could actually just do this and whatever. Because sometimes I would think back to, I would never go out on a Friday night because I knew I had work on a Saturday at 10. Because I'd never wanted to be late and I never wanted to feel rough. But now that I think back to it, starting work at 10 when I live 20 minutes away and being a bit hungover is actually not that hard. And now I sometimes think, why did I not do that? And even now I'm like, well, I'm not going to go out because it's like I'm drinking in the midweek. It's not really good for you. And even though I love drinking, but I would feel guilty after. It's just little things like that. And I know maybe in 5 years' time, I'll be like, why did I not do that when I had more time and opportunities?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But that's just how I am.
I was having this conversation with my friend today. We went for a walk, and I feel like I've always been quite adventurous and like spontaneous. I love doing just anything like that. But I have always been sensible in the sense that never did anything like too naughty or like break rules. Do you know what I mean? Spontaneous, but not naughty. If that makes sense. And she was sort of talking about like not sorry.
That's all right.
She was talking about like gangs and stuff and about getting involved. Not that I'm saying I wanted to.
Right. No, I mean, I'm wait and see where this is going.
I was sort of saying like I think some children are more inclined to to do naughtier stuff when they're younger than others.
Like risk takers.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I was saying I actually wish as a teenager I had been a bit more risk.
Right,
like, do you know what I'm saying? Like
took more risks.
Yeah, just been a bit more.
Live
naughtier,
a little.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't live. I had a great teenage years, but I wish I was just even naughtier.
Oh no, I'm the exact same. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I was very just level-headed, and sometimes I think, why did I not take that chance or not do that? Not that I don't have any regrets or anything.
Because I feel like when you're that young, people just like, oh yeah, they're a teenager, they'll grow out of it. But then sometimes that attitude and that wanting comes later, and then they're like, what are they doing that for? They're like, they're in their 30s now. Like, do you know what I mean?
Why aren't they sorting it out?
Yeah, but actually maybe they didn't have that time when they were younger.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, keep talking. I just want to see if this is still recording.
Yeah,
it is.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. But it's just funny how like hindsight is just 2020. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, I shouldn't have said this and that. But
yeah,
I try not to worry about it.
No, yeah.
Do you have like any goals or any like in your life or any particular thing that you want to get done or
in like a life goal?
Yeah, whether it's places you want to go or things that you want to do or.
I just want to see as many countries as possible in my lifetime. Honestly,
Okay.
that's it. I don't know. I'm not one of those people who sets goals, and well, I probably should be. I'd probably be a lot more successful if I was.
Well, I mean, you do kind of have goals if you want to go to all these places.
Yeah, I suppose.
Do you want to learn, or can you speak any other languages?
Well, I picked up a lot of Spanish when I was in South America.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
That's what something I loved about South America compared to Asia, is because most of the places speak Spanish. In the 4 months we was there, I could, like, the language skills came on quite well. Whereas obviously if you're in Asia and every new country you cross is a different language.
Different things, yeah.
You're starting it fresh every single time. Whereas in South America,
it doesn't get stuck with you.
No, yeah. So I would just get on board. Like I always try and make a bit of an effort. So I would always learn like 1 to 10, hi, bye, thank you, like just little things, or like one more beer, please, or just little phrases.
Yeah.
Whereas in 4 months, the amount of Spanish I picked up was actually, I was really proud of myself.
Yeah. Do you remember any of it?
Yeah, but I'm not going to.
No, I'm just saying, like, say if you went to Spain tomorrow, do you reckon you'd be quite? No, I'm not saying you'd be fluent.
Like today, there was a Spanish lady on the bus, and I just know that I was listening, and I can understand. I know what she's talking about. I won't know every single word, but I know like what conversation she's having.
Right. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. I'd love to learn another language.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of, I don't know, like about you, but I'm one of these people. I need to do something again and again and again, otherwise I will forget. Like I'm not the most. I've noticed I'm not the most technical person. I'm not great with my hands. I feel like you pick up things quite fast. I feel like even if I was in South America like you for that long, I still think I wouldn't have picked up as much as you.
Well, Harry was awful, bless him. He won't mind me saying that. Harry's dyslexic, but I think he also sometimes he says like processing is the way he picks things up is slower. He found it really hard.
I'm definitely one of those people. So could he not really speak any at all?
A little bit, but I think like in the last week we were coming home and someone said "Como te llamas," which is like "What's your name?" And he looked at me and I was like, Harry, we're 4 months in. You have to know what that means.
No, to be fair, I feel like I know the basic, like,
yeah.
I know some things like cuenta por favor is the bill please, right?
Yeah.
And then, what else is there? Everyone knows hola. I can speak like uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. I can't speak after that. Seis. And then what else do they have? I don't. What else are like Spanish phrases? Oh, like señorita is miss, I think.
Yeah.
Señor is
yeah.
Adios. I think that's about it.
When I worked in the restaurant in Manchester, one of my bosses was.
Well, Greg's. Did you work in Greg's? No. Where did you work again? Because I was in Manchester 2 years ago for Soccer Aid, and I remember we were in that square. Oh, Oscar Italian, yeah. And I couldn't remember, and I was hungover like in the middle of the city, like, oh my god, where did she work again?
No, working in Greg's is I don't know why.
I don't know why
it's not funny, but
I don't know why I thought you worked in Greg's.
No, my boss, he was from Barcelona, and he used to call me guapa, which is just means like pretty.
Oh, does
like,
it? Oh, okay.
But it's not. You say it to anyone like you'd be like guapo, like for a boy, or guapa.
You're right.
And I was like, I just want to be called guapa every day for the rest of my life, and that's what it is. Yeah, it's just
that is nice. Don't know why I thought you worked in Greg's. Have you been in Manchester recently?
No, but no, the last time I went, we went in September, so I don't know.
6 months ago.
Yeah, Harry's friend lives down there, and we went to go visit them.
I love Manchester.
I love Manchester, but I'm going again in July for Oasis.
Oh yeah, you got Oasis tickets. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Well, I didn't. My friend did. Molly did. And
Right.
But so it'd be really cool to see them in Manchester.
That'd be nice. I love Manchester so much.
Yeah.
I think I haven't been. Yeah, I haven't been there for like. Last time I went was 2 years ago for Soccer Aid.
Yeah, I'm very open to moving back to it at the minute.
Oh, you'd actually move back there?
Yeah, I would. It's hard because Harry's work now, because he works in landscaping. His work, he'll eventually be self-employed, and his business will be where his jobs are. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Or his jobs will be where his business is, whatever.
Yeah, like he'd move around.
Yeah, but also if he has like clients, you can't move around. Whereas
Right.
I could get a job and work remotely, or
Right.
Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
it's kind of, that's why I think sometimes making decisions is harder about where you want to live, because
It's not
everything carries
straightforward.
weight. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'd move back up to Manchester for sure.
I love Manchester.
Yeah.
That's my favourite place outside of London in the UK.
I love it. It's so much. I'm so happy I went to uni there.
Yeah, I'm glad you went there as well.
Yeah, and it was nice because people actually come to visit me. I think because they really want to see that, like UK.
We loved coming up, and we was
Yeah.
always like when me and Ben first went up there, and Tom, we were like, oh, Manchester's so good. Like we need to go back. We loved it. I had a great time. I like the north in general. I like
I do.
I like Liverpool, Sheffield, Manchester, all of these places. There's a few other cities I haven't been to, like
I've been
Leeds.
to Leeds.
I thought you had been to Leeds.
No, I applied to the uni.
Well, everyone says how amazing it is and stuff.
I've heard that Leeds is the same energy as like a smaller Manchester.
Yeah, because my mate Tom, you remember Tom? Yeah, I was with him last week, and he said he went up to Leeds like a couple of weeks ago. He went out there and he said it was unreal, like really, really good.
Yeah, cool.
I've heard some good things about Leeds.
I actually want to explore more of the UK in general. Like
me too.
Scotland, like the Highlands.
Yeah, I've never been to Scotland.
Have you not?
I've never been to Wales or Northern Ireland or Republic of Ireland.
But you've never been outside of England in the UK?
No.
You've never been to Dublin?
No.
Stop.
I know that's not part of the UK, but
No,
yeah,
I know,
I've never
but-
been to Dublin. I've always wanted to go to Ireland, but I've never been.
Yeah, fair enough.
I would like to go there. I've worked with a lot of Irish people and met Irish people, and they say, yeah, you should definitely go.
Yeah.
But they say don't go for St. Patrick's Day because it's just too busy.
Yeah.
But I would love to go to Ireland to get a nice Guinness and stuff.
To be honest, every day is St. Patrick's Day in Ireland if you're in the right place.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'd love to go to Ireland. But yeah, Scotland and Wales. I'm up for going there. Like I could drive to Wales in like 2.5 hours.
We
3 hours.
drove. We went. Me and Harry went during lockdown for like I think it was like, I don't know what it was, just a little week holiday. We went like a hiking holiday.
What, Snowdon?
No, what was it called?
They're all going to Snowdon in a few weeks.
I can't remember what it's called.
Was it like?
It's called the Brecon Beacons. It's like a national park place.
Okay.
It's called Penhuvan.
Okay.
It was alright. There was no view.
That was your early time in Wales.
Yeah, I think it was actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to go there. Northern Ireland as well would be cool. Like
Yeah, I've been to Belfast
Belfast.
a couple of times. Cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
There's a lot of history there, so it'd be like quite
Yeah,
interesting.
there is. It's quite a young city. I think there's quite. I think there's a couple of unis there, so it feels quite young.
Oh right, yeah.
I like cities like that.
Yeah, that's why I like going to those places up north because it feels very.
Uni towns.
Yeah, like Sheffield, Manchester, and stuff like that.
Because they've all got a couple, like at least 2 or 3 unis as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of. It's not like London. I feel like London is so. As much as I love it, it's not. It's so big. I've noticed when you go to other cities. Like when I went to Rome, I went there for a weekend by myself about a year and a half, maybe like 2 years ago, and you could basically walk the whole city. This is what I was trying to explain. You know, when you're in London, let's just say you're on Tottenham Court Road.
Oh my god, is Rome the capital? I'm just having like a bit of a moment where I can't.
Yes.
It is, yeah.
Rome's the capital. Yeah. I used to think that is it Milan.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but Rome is the capital.
It is, yeah. Okay.
It's like Roman Empire and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, you know, like so imagine you're on Tottenham Court Road, like Regent Street, where all the shops are.
Yeah.
Let's just say that's right in the middle of London. If you was to walk all the way to say London Bridge or to London, that would take hours.
Yeah.
Whereas like in Rome or these other big cities, you could walk where like the Colosseum is all the way down to like the Treventi, wherever. That wouldn't take that long, and that's basically the whole city. I feel like London is so big. Even like South London. Imagine going like
I know.
Wimbledon to say Greenwich.
And also the worst thing about London is it's so hard to travel horizontally. You always have to go like into London, like into Central and then back out.
Yeah.
Whereas and then buses just
Like I worked like when I was on Big Brother, I worked in Harlesden, which is next to Wembley, and it would be like
that is a trick.
Oh mate, but it's even a trick for people that live in and around there. Because I had some colleagues that worked in North London, and like they would be like, it's so long to get here.
Yeah, that is long.
So, and being around Wembley is a proper dump as well. Like it's an actual like I always assumed it'd be really nice because of the stadium.
Yeah,
but it's a Wembley's a dump, and like Harlesden, all of that northwest London is really horrible.
Yeah.
It's not very nice.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of places in North London that I like Camden and
Yeah, I haven't explored.
Finsbury Park and
I know a lot of people
Islington.
like Islington and Angel and like those places. I'd actually.
I was there the other day.
Like, I think if we didn't grow up in South East London.
Yeah.
And we did the whole like rent in London for a bit with your friends. I kind of wish I had that experience.
Yeah. Do you know what?
And I probably would be in North. I reckon I probably would be in North.
I feel like you'd be in East as well, maybe like
East.
Hackney or
yeah, somewhere like that.
Hackney, or I can imagine you like in Hackney, Shoreditch, maybe. Yeah, I can imagine you there. Sort of thing.
Super expensive though.
Yeah, Spenny.
But I'd love like even to like a Wimbledon or like a Dulwich,
Wimbledon
like, something like that.
That's one of the most expensive places.
Yeah,
but it's so nice. But do you know where I would actually love to go? I'd like to. Cause I've always said that if I won the lottery, I'd like to buy a house on in Sydenham, like on Cater Road. Those houses there.
Well, near my school. That road.
No.
Near where Layla lives.
Yeah, it's like a few roads down, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know where. I don't even know where your school even is.
Like New Beckenham. But it's
kind of
basically where Penge, Beckenham and Sydenham meet.
Oh right, yeah. So I would like to
because it was Cater Park. I thought it was near my school.
Yes, it was. Yeah, because it's Bromley Girls now.
Yeah, Bromley. Yeah.
So I would like to go live there, but now that I've sort of work in the city essentially, I was like, do you know what? Whilst I'm like young and single, don't have like a wife and kids, it would be nice to live somewhere a bit more central and like with a tube station. So I would like to live in like Brixton. And one of my colleagues works there, and he said it's like, and he's not from London, but he's like, it's amazing.
Like, I forget like the whole like Balham, Clapham thing.
Yeah.
I never go out in those areas.
Yeah, but I always want to.
We should do it.
Well, yeah, we will. And do you know, I went on a date with this girl like a couple of years ago in Peckham, which is funny because Peckham is like 20 minutes down the road, and I never go there.
Same.
And anyway, I went to this bar with her called Zapoy, and it was really nice. And it was like this. It kind of felt like a house, but it was really weird. It felt like you was in someone's house basically, but it was really nice. But then when I left, and this is like only like 11 o'clock at night, every bar was busy. And I was like, why do I never come here? And like it's only I got home with one bus. I'm like, why do I never come out here?
It's quite good as well because from Peckham Rye I can go to Shortlands. It's that like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And then it's weird.
Yeah, literally for me it's one bus, 197. I just go all the way there from my house. And I was thinking, why don't we do this more often instead of like trekking all the way to like Shoreditch or wherever? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there's so many places I want to go out more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like I don't even go out that much.
No, same. It's so expensive now.
No, I love going. Like, to be fair, I was out last week, but when I was like, I feel like before COVID, I was out every weekend. Like every weekend, like, most weekends I was out. Whereas now,
that was also like what 4 years ago.
Yeah, but I wasn't that young though. I was like 23, which is not that young.
No, that is massive.
No, I feel like when you're like 19, 20, I can understand you being out every weekend. But when you're like 23, you're not.
No, I disagree because I think at 23 you have a bit more money when you're like 19. Also,
I guess so. No, I wasn't. 5 years ago, I wasn't at uni when I was 23.
No, when you're like 19, 20.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
I suppose you're out. You are out.
Yeah, I guess.
But also,
so.
like, you're out because it's new, whereas when you're 23.
But at that point, you've been going out for 5 years,
true.
5-6 years.
That's true.
I don't know. I feel like I'm getting old.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I am old, really.
You're not old.
Well, I'm not, I mean, we're not, but like sometimes I'm like, damn, like sometimes when you're out and you feel like everyone's really young.
Oh my god, it's awful.
Yeah. I feel like everyone's like 19. To be honest, I'm not going anywhere where there's like 19-year-old, 20-year-old. But sometimes you look at me and you think, wow, you look really young.
Yeah, and it's like I don't remember looking that young.
No, yeah.
We probably did.
We must have done, yeah.
You definitely did.
I feel like I still look the same, to be honest.
No, you do, but your hair was so like.
Yeah, my hair was really long, yeah. But I sometimes I look at pictures from like a few years ago of like me and my mates. I don't really look any different, and like.
No, you look pretty similar actually.
My only thing that's a bit different, my facial hair grows back a bit quicker. Before I would never have to shave. Now I shave once a week, so I'll shave tomorrow and I'll be clean shaven. But before I wouldn't shave. I'd shave a few times a year. I wouldn't have anything here. But I guess all my mates have always had like beards and stuff, and I've never really had that at all, really. So it is what it is. But yeah, I still get ID'd some places, and I'm just a bit like, it's just a bit.
Oh no, enjoy it while it lasts, myself.
I don't know. Like I sometimes wish. Sometimes it makes me feel a bit like a kid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I don't really like.
I don't mind it as long as I get ID'd. I don't mind.
Yeah, but do you carry your ID everywhere?
Yeah, pretty much.
I do as well.
Although not, I don't at the minute. But yeah.
Okay, fair. I always have mine on me just in case.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Do you know what I was thinking? I would like to do. It's weird that you're actually here because I asked so many people to come on, and I was speaking to This is before I got this last job that I'm working on at the moment. So when I'm not working, it's a lot easier to basically have a show because I know the time's gonna be. I know I'm not gonna be busy with anything, and I know that all I've got to do, I've got all week to basically find a guest.
Yeah.
And because I'm working and I don't know if I'm gonna be working, we're gonna be filming or we're gonna be doing this, we're gonna be doing that, and I'm just like, oh, do you know what I mean? And I'm always asking people, and then people drop out. So last week, I thought I had someone to do it, and then they couldn't do it, and then you don't want to bother people late in the week when you feel like it's a day's notice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was just like, last week I literally came in, done 20 minutes by myself, and then left. I feel bad cancelling. But yeah, I was glad that you done it because I was thinking, it's just annoying when you aren't able to sort of do it. And I was speaking to, I emailed like 70 or something presenters a few months ago, like who are on TV every day, like on LinkedIn. I just got their email. And I was like asking them for advice for like things I could do.
Yeah.
And they were basically, I emailed about 70 people, and I think about 20 got back to me, which is pretty good.
That's pretty good, man.
And these are people that are on TV every day, like
That's
on
like-
ITV, BBC, Channel 4.
What is that, like 30%?
Yeah, like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was surprised that many people got back to me, and they were like, they all gave me good advice, different advice, but all kind of the same thing. And they were like, you should just keep doing what you're doing, interview as many people as you can, try and do as much as you can. And I was like, yeah, you're right, and try and do this and that. I did some other things that I didn't think of. And I was just like, yeah, that's what I want to do. But then when I get jobs, when I'm working, I can't do that as much, which is frustrating. So it's like it kind of has to go on hold a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's annoying because this is what I want to do for work, obviously.
Yeah. You still want to do it in? Is it not WWF? What's it called?
UFC.
UFC.
Oh no, yeah, of course. But I would do anything. You know, like some presenters do, like anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would do any kind of.
Yeah, I know.
Whether it's TV or radio, I would do it all.
Yeah, yeah.
Because to me, it's all kind of the same thing. Cause
Yeah, it is.
sometimes when I'm working in people that I work with in the industry, they want to try other things, not necessarily TV or radio, but whether it's even if it's a different genre and they're further in their career than me, they get worried that it won't be transferable. But I'm like, it is, because if you got experience making like a reality show,
100%.
you know you can easily come up with ideas for a documentary.
100%.
But yeah, sorry, I've realised one thing I've noticed when I have guests on,
Yeah.
I feel like I talk about myself a bit too much.
I don't think so.
No, I feel like I've been trying to sort of be a bit more asking them more questions.
Okay.
Because I noticed this in this interview that I watched a couple of months ago. Sorry, I got food now.
No, it's fine. Me too.
Let me see if it's still recording. You can never trust this. Ooh. Yeah, it's still recording. Yep. Yeah. So this interview on this podcast I listened to, it basically was this guy interviewing this other guy who's a podcaster, and the guy that got interviewed, then got interviewed by another guy whose show I listened to, and he was like, "I'm not letting you trick me," because he was asking him questions. He was like, "I feel like in that interview I watched with him, you were basically interviewing him on his own show," and I was like, "Oh, because he means that like he sort of then was asking all the questions." So I've noticed that I've tried to make the conversation about myself a bit too much.
Okay. I mean, I never got that. Maybe because I'm just so used to. I would be like used to us having this kind of conversation.
Yeah. I've tried to stop. Not so much when I'm in real life, because I would say I'm a good listener and stuff, and I like to talk to people. But I've noticed on this, I can try, whether it's talking over people or whether it's, I get really excited and you just want to jump in, and I've noticed that I would make it all about me. Like I had this girl on, she's a colleague, we worked together before, and I had her on like last year, and we didn't have much time, and I was just really excited that she was there and that we were talking. But when I watched it back to try and get like clips and stuff, I realised I was basically dominating the conversation, but she was asking me a lot of questions and I just sort of obliged.
I was going to say though, but so would you prefer if I didn't ask you like?
Oh no! Obviously, make it as natural as you can. But I'm saying I need to work on something where I am not ranting about myself as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's just little skills like that. I think I don't know. Do you listen to a lot of podcasts?
Yeah, but I'm not adventurous. I listen to the ones that I like. I don't.
Well,
really
of course. Yeah, I listen to the ones. Why would anyone listen to the ones that they don't like?
I don't. I feel like I don't. When I go on Spotify, I don't treat the podcast section the way I would treat the music section.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Like a discover new music and stuff, right?
Or I wouldn't go on like, like with your curious song, and it would just sometimes play other songs like that, like with the radio thing, the feature.
Like a similar sort of music.
Yeah. Like I would do that sometimes, or I'll type in the playlist. I would never let someone else choose a podcast for me. That makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, but I'm kind of like that as well. Yeah. I think most people are like that.
I don't know. I feel like some people listen to more just a bigger variety of podcasts.
Most of mine are about sports, and like some are about like, depending on the podcast and whoever the guest is or something. Yeah. So for example, Louis Theroux's got a really good podcast.
Yeah.
and he interviews like different kinds of people. So I watched one where a few months ago where he interviewed Willem Dafoe, who's, you know, the actor.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of Jermaine. Who's
No, you're thinking of Dwayne Dafoe. He's the footballer. You know
William Dafoe?
Willem Dafoe. He's the guy from Spider-Man. And he's like the guy. He's got kind of like a funny face.
What, the white? He's white.
What, he's been in so many films.
And he plays a villain.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So but then he also on Louis Theroux's podcast, he will interview someone like he interviewed, say, Leon Edwards, who's a UFC fighter. So he interviews loads of different people, and I like to listen to things like that sometimes. But most of the shows I listen to are UFC shows, boxing shows, and say one or two people like Joe Rogan, for example. He interviews different kinds of people.
Yeah, I like the Joe Rogan podcasts, but they're just quite long, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're also quite intense. I feel like I have to be awake because I actually listen to podcasts to wind down.
Right.
Or when I'm walking.
I listen to podcasts like on my way to work or on my way to the gym or.
But I find they actually help
when
me
I'm
get
driving.
to sleep.
Oh really? Yeah. I find that as well, but then I hate to miss something. So I like to listen to them when I'm working.
I will listen to the same podcast about 8 times because I'll fall asleep. I have to keep remembering where I've fallen asleep.
I think on average, I probably get through about way over like 16 hours of podcasts a week.
Fair.
I listen to a lot. Like I love listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
I try to not listen to as many podcasts a day I do a show because I don't want it to be too much like, oh, I've been listening to people talk all day.
Yeah.
I've listened to 2 or 3 already today, but that's because I was doing work kind of thing.
2 or 3?
Yeah, I listened to one UFC one. 2, sorry, actually I listened to 2 UFC ones and I listened to Joe Rogan. So yeah, I listened to like a comedy one and 2 UFC ones.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like listening to. They're fun. I think they're good.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that they don't all have to be the same. Some are different. Yeah. Which ones do you listen to? Like,
I love Olivia Attwood's "So Wrong It's Right" just because I think she's really.
She's great.
She's really good.
Yeah.
I've
heard that one's good. A lot of my colleagues, like female colleagues in TV, they say that they listen to her.
I think she's really good at what she does. I think every reality star now has a podcast, but she's actually really.
It's a saturated market in general.
Not everyone needs a podcast, I think.
And not everyone's necessarily great at it.
No, that's what I mean. So there's a lot.
I'm not saying I'm great.
Shovel through the rubbish.
Yeah.
A good one. What else? I love. Do you know Paul Brunson?
The name sounds familiar.
He's the American guy. He does like Married at First Sight, and he's like a relationship.
Is he the black guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cause
love him.
Yeah, I was watching some clips of him today, funnily enough, because I was doing some research about, for the show I'm working on at the moment, some podcast clips that might be happening, and his came up a lot. I know him. Yeah.
So I think he lives in the UK now, but he gets a lot of, I say ex-famous, kind of people who aren't in their heyday, but still
relevant,
really well known.
Yeah.
So people who are on like.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
People who are on like, I don't know, Towie 10 years ago, or like
Love
like
Island.
Katie Price. Yeah. Like that. But they're people who that popular culture who I've grown up, and I want to know more about them. So them, I do quite like. Alan Carr has a podcast called Life's a Beach.
Really?
It's kind of about travel, and again, he gets because he's obviously a chat show host. He has really good guests on it.
Yeah.
And
he's good at conversation.
He is good at conversation, and I think he's actually genuinely friends with a lot of those people. So the conversation, like, it's very jovial. It's the tone is really
light-hearted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they're having a conversation as if they were friends. Like they're swearing and they're talking about. It's all about what they like holidays. So like their first. It could be like a celebrity's first holiday when they were 18, and like the people that they, I don't know, slept with on a beach, or like holiday romance, or things like countries they hated, or sometimes it's not always totally PC. It doesn't cross a line, I don't think, but it's also quite refreshing when something's like a conversation with your friends would be. It's not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Like they were sort of talking about someone to China, and they were talking about like the food out there is just, for us, is just
amazing.
A thing. But the way they were saying it wasn't the most PC way, but it was.
I get what you mean.
It was funny.
Yeah, that's fun. I like listening to things like that. Just do you like listening to interviews?
Yes.
I've always really found them interesting.
How do you find Diary of a CEO? Because I think it's gone overboard.
Me personally, I've only listened to one episode, and it was because this footballer that was on it, Stephen Bartlett. I think Stephen Bartlett's really talented, but he's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
He's just not someone that. I think he gets a lot of unnecessary stick, but he's just not someone that I would want to listen to. All the time.
Why?
I feel like his content is just not for me.
Yeah.
I've seen some clips from his stuff, and it's really good, but I don't know. It's just not really like my cup of tea. I think he gets like a lot of stick for whatever reason, and people will always find something to like hate or whatever. But for me personally, that's just not my kind of
That's fair.
cup of tea. Like you were saying, you like what you like.
I do.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
always
yeah.
open to trying new things.
With him, I used to listen to his pretty religiously.
Yeah.
And I think he very much monopolises that, like, like fair. He gets really good guests and he's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
But I just found that some of the podcasts are like over 2 hours, which for me is just too long.
Right.
I like a half an hour, maximum hour kind of a podcast.
Like 40 minutes would be
yeah,
nice.
it's ideal. But it just gets, each one just gets so heavy, and it's almost like a counselling session.
Oh.
And it's almost like every single guest, it has to talk about how they were suicidal. And I know should be a spaces to talk about it, but it feels like it's almost forced out of the contestant.
Oh,
now.
like they're trying to get some sort of sob story from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that because I don't really listen to his
But
stuff.
and it feels like every promo vid for the podcast is about their lowest point all the time.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And I think when I've seen clips, it's like, oh, how did you overcome having an abusive this and that?
Yeah.
I want to, me personally, similar to what I like to do with my show, I want it to just be natural.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to be, we're going to definitely talk about this and we're going to, do you know what I mean? It should just be a conversation.
Yeah, but then I think as well, if you're having high profile guests and they've got PR working for them, they need to know what subjects are off the table or on.
Yeah.
Certain things that they won't be able to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. But then I kind of think if they don't want to talk about it, they don't want to talk about it. But
yeah.
Me personally, I think if you're going to go on a podcast, you should be like, well, we're going to talk about this. And you can say, I don't want to talk about it, but don't go, if you got a lot of things that you don't want to be brung up, don't bother going on there.
Who would be your dream person to interview?
Oh.
Give me two.
I'm going to say Joe Rogan.
Oh, that'd be good.
And I'd like to speak to Louis Theroux. I think that'd be my top two, I think.
So 2 interviewers.
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of why I didn't want to say them. So maybe
that's fine.
Maybe someone who's like interesting and...
Right, give me 2 non-interviewers.
Okay, fine. Maybe Dua Lipa.
Oh, so obvious. I was going to say, but you're going to pick Charlie XCX and Dua Lipa.
No, I wouldn't. Okay, maybe. Okay, fine.
No, I think Dua Lipa would be good.
Because she's like a cultural icon and she's really popular and stuff. And I feel like she would have a lot of interesting things to say.
And you just like to look at her.
And yeah, she's gorgeous. And if we're going to talk to someone else, maybe I would want to... Oh, right, okay. So yeah, let me go back.
I don't know, just watching yourself on camera back is...
I hate it. Yeah, I really hate it. Okay, so we were saying 2 people I'd like to interview. I would love to interview... Okay, let's say Dua Lipa was number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, I would like to speak to... Do you know who I think would be really good? Well, then she's kind of an interviewer as well. But I would like to speak to Amelia de Moldenberg, Chicken Shop Girl.
Right. Do you think she's really good?
Yes.
Do you?
Because I feel like she is very niche in what she does. Like, there's no one else that does it like her, I feel like.
That's true. No,
it's
very unique.
There's no, you know, like how we were saying how podcasts and whatever, there's a lot of the samey out there. I feel like there's not... Her idea, 1, is really original. And no one's done it before. And 2, I feel like she is... Because she's quite silly, she is quite good. And then I feel like when you see her break character, you know, with... Louis Theroux interviewed her like a couple of years ago. And it was just very natural, and it's quite... you can see she's quite switched on. Yeah. I would like to ask her questions and stuff. I remember once I DM'd her, like 6 years ago, about like a work thing, because she posted like this BBC scheme or whatever. And she replied to me, she sent me like all of these links, stuff like that. She seems quite cool. So I would like to speak to her. I know she's an interviewer as well, but someone like
I reckon she'd be a top person, like just a nice person to...
Yeah, she seems quite friendly and
stuff.
Yeah,
I think so. But I think I'm one of the few people, I just find Chicken Shop Date a bit irritating.
Yeah, I get that.
It jars me. I think that's the point of it, because she's supposed to be this awkward character.
It's meant to be, yeah. It's like a character, isn't it?
But it just jars me, and I don't want to feel jarred. Do
you know what's funny? When I went to Prague, when I was with this American girl, I showed her... I was like, do you know Chicken Shop Girl? She was like, who? Who the hell is that? And then we watched like 15. She was like, oh my God, this is so funny. But yeah, I think she's great.
But I do really respect how like she built that from the ground up and was like getting a really small acts, and now it's just huge.
Yeah, she's done...
Like Ben Stiller was like
yeah, like
it's crazy.
You have to respect that sort of craft. And sometimes when that's why I don't like to say people are rubbish or people I don't like. I never like to say someone is rubbish, or even if it's someone that I really don't like, I'll never say they're no good or anything. Or
Right.
I think they're crap, because when you actually work in this industry, you realise how hard it is.
Yeah.
One, to get in, and then two, to actually have an idea, and then for it to be successful.
Yeah.
Whether it's crap or not, to be honest, it doesn't really matter, because someone obviously finds it good. So I don't know. It's a hard industry sort of thing. Like, I always say to people, if you want to work in this industry, it's not a place where you want to make money. If you want to make money, it's not the place to be. You can, but
Yeah.
you've got to really, really work hard and be lucky.
And you've got to love it as well.
You got to love it and be lucky. I feel like it's similar to fighting in a way, because I feel like to be successful in media, or whether it's TV or radio or whatever else you want to do, you have to make a lot of sacrifices, because whether it's your dating life or whether it's your family and social life, you kind of need to just be like, well, I'm gonna sacrifice that to be really good at this and try and make something from that, and it might not even work.
Yeah.
So it's similar to fighting, whereas like they need to sort of cut themselves off from family and not go out and do this and that, and yeah, it's interesting. But if you want to make it work, I feel like you can.
Yeah.
But you do need, I've noticed from working in this industry, you do need to have a little bit of luck. Just little things have to fall into place, and you might need to reach out to this person and they see your work and they want to work with you again. And yeah, it's funny. I sometimes wish I knew what I knew back then, like I knew now back then. I feel like I always think, where would I be now? But
what do you mean back then? When?
You know, like when I come up to Manchester for that BBC thing, they wanted an idea for something that they could put on their channels,
right?
Like a sports thing, and I didn't really prepare well at all,
Yeah.
and I really wish that I did. And if I had known the ideas that I had known now, I've definitely got that job, and things like that. And also things like if I knew how the industry worked, like I've always wanted to work in television and media. If I had known how to get in and what you have to do back then, I would have been able to do that, and I would have been a lot more further in my career. I thought you had to go to uni and stuff, and you don't really.
Yeah.
You don't need any
You can
holiday.
train with them, can't you?
Sorry?
You can train with them.
Train with who?
The BBC. Like, you can do
Yeah,
with
kind of.
them.
Like there are things that you can find, and there's schemes that you can find, and whatever, but you don't need to go to university.
I was actually looking at one of their journalist schemes. So I've looked a couple of times. But it does sound it sounds really good, and I kind of wish I did that out of uni.
Right.
My mum always said to me, you should do that scheme.
Yeah.
But then I'm at a point in my career where I think it'd be a bit of a pay cut.
Yeah.
And I'm like, usually for anyone, I'd be like, take a pay cut. It's a year or 2 or 3 years of your life, and then you've got the rest of your career.
Yeah.
But then it's, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Because it's like, if you don't really want to do it, then why put yourself through that?
I think I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard because what I do, like I work in internal comms. A lot of internal comms job adverts will want you to have journalist experience or would like you to come from a journalist background. It's a similar kind of the similar skills.
Transferable.
Super, and it's a lot about creating stories to like and building brands. It's a similar sort of skill.
Okay.
But the same isn't true the other way around. So if I look for journalist skills, they don't want you to come from internal comms. They want you to have a journalist background. If that makes sense.
Yes.
So there's a lot of people who are ex-journalists or something who work in internal comms.
Well, not the other way around.
But I think there is. It's just a harder manoeuvre. It's a harder zigzag.
The route is longer, basically.
Yeah, and I think there's more training on and qualifications for journalism than there are for what I do.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I heard this. I heard this quote. I can't remember who it was from. Not even a quote. They were just talking about. They work in media, and I can't remember exactly what industry. I can't remember if it was comedy or acting or whatever. And it always stuck with me. It was I only heard it like a year ago. It was like, it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Someone said this. My uncle said this to me last week, and we had this massive debate about this saying. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Because so just from my experience from working in TV, I've got jobs from. I've kind of known people, and then someone else is actually friends with them, and they've got me a job, and then they see that you do a good job, and they want to hire you again.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it's about timing, because it's like something might come up at the right time. So the job that I'm working on now, I'm finally a researcher. You start.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you. When you work in TV, traditionally it goes, you're a runner, then you're a researcher, assistant producer, and then whatever where it could be exec producer, this and that, depending on. But I mean, there's loads of other jobs in TV, but that route on the shows that I've worked on, generally, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
So I have been ready to be a researcher for like a year. I could have done it like a year ago.
Yeah.
And when I done my last series of Big Brother, the team that I'm on is split into 4 teams of 4, and we have a runner on a team, a researcher on a team, assistant producer, then producer on these task teams, and there's 4 of us, and then There's like 16 of us in total, and the series before, my friend who's also a runner, she had done one less series than me on task, but she got asked to be a researcher for the last series that we done. So I was a bit like, but so she got it ahead of me. But even though that sort of said to me, I'm ready, but even though she got it picked ahead of me. So when it come around this year, they offered me to come back, but I turned them down, even though I wasn't working, because I was just like, I was kind of working at another job anyway, but I was like, I only want to go back for a better role.
No, good for you.
And then someone else asked me for a job, Soccer Aid, who I worked on last year. I wanted to do that last year as a researcher, but I didn't have the experience and I asked a bit late. They basically, there was like a whole thing, but I got offered a runner position again. I said no, but because I turned those two things down, I was like, I do want to do them, and I'm not too good for them. It's just that I don't want to take that and something else comes up.
Yeah.
So I turned them both down, and then a week or two later, the job that I'm working on now, I got that job.
Can you say what you're on now?
I can tell you after.
Okay.
But it worked out, because if I had taken those jobs, I would have been like, oh man, I wouldn't have been able to take that.
Oh, you trust it, yeah.
So it's timing. Sometimes it's timing, and I learned that from watching. I see, I'm talking about myself again. I learned that from sometimes when you watch sports and fighting, especially. Sometimes fighters will say no to certain fights or a certain opportunity. They might be like, oh, in 6 months' time, I might get like something much better. Like you're betting on yourself essentially. So I was like it worked out. I'm
kind of doing that in a minute as well, because obviously we've been like plunged back into normal life earlier than we thought. So obviously I'm now looking for a new job. So my plan was to start looking like in June, maybe give myself like a month to apply from abroad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But obviously now that I'm home, I need to get a job.
Yeah.
And I'm very much now, in what I do, I don't want to take a role that's not a managerial role now.
Really?
Because I look at, not necessarily managing like a direct report or anything, but I look at manager roles for what I do, and it's basically what I've been doing 2 jobs ago, but I just wasn't paid what I should have been being paid. I was working obviously for like a failing retailer that got liquidised. And then I look at the same job spec and it's 20